Okay, let's talk about Space Jam on the PS1. This game is something I was actually excited for. I've been looking forward to for a long time. I've been wanting to play it, and I finally picked up a copy, and I was hoping it was going to be better than it actually is. Now, I do love the way this game looks. I want to get that out of the way first. This game looks phenomenal. The sprites and everything, they all look great. I love the graphics. To me, it looks more like a Sega Genesis game than it actually does a PlayStation 1 game. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I like that they went with a more 2D style over the 3D, kind of polygon style that you get with most PS1 games. So I like that they did that. I like the graphics. I like the way it looks. And honestly, I like the way it plays quite a bit. The problems with this game start coming in when you get to the balancing of this game and when you get to the mini games that kind of disrupt the flow of the actual basketball. Now, if you don't know what Space Jam is, well, you're missing out. It's one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. I love that movie. It's got the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan in it, and it's a great combination, and it's a fun movie, and this game's based off that movie. Unfortunately, it's not as good as the movie. This game doesn't get talked about at all, and I kind of understand why it doesn't get talked about now. I wish it was good. I really do. Because it plays very well. It's really fun. It's just a matter of you have the monsters that you can play as, which are the bad guys, and you have the Looney Tunes. And the monsters have such an advantage over the Looney Tunes. It's not even funny. And I think the big reason for this is the fact that the sprites for the monsters are just bigger. So when you're using that team, it's just easier to block shots from the Looney Tunes over and over and over again. And this game actually defaults to easy mode. When you first turn on this game, it defaulted me to easy mode. So I have a feeling that they knew the balancing issues were there. So whenever you play as Looney Tunes characters, they knew you were going to struggle a little bit. So when I played as, and I did, when I played as the Looney Tunes characters, I had a hard time. But when I swapped over to the monsters, I didn't have any trouble whatsoever. I destroyed the Looney Tunes. And then I was just like, okay, let's test my hypothesis out. Let's turn this all the way onto hard mode and see if it makes a difference. Let's see if me turning this game onto hard mode still makes it super easy as when I'm playing as the monsters. And it does. It makes it a little bit more chaotic, but I was still able to destroy the Looney Tunes. Like, it was nothing. So there's some clear balancing issues, and I think it all has to do with the size of the sprites, which is unfortunate. And that alone is enough to make me kind of be like, I'm not sure if you should pick this game up if you're looking for a fun, fair contest. But if you maybe like overcoming the odds and you want to pick this game up and you're okay with, trying to overcome definitely odds that are stacked against you, hey, go ahead and try it out. But I wish this game was a little bit more balanced. It's not balanced enough for my liking personally. And there's not really a whole lot to do in this game, honestly. It's basketball, and in between each quarter, there's mini games. And honestly, the mini games I don't really like. There's like mini games where you have to find Michael Jordan's outfits and stuff like that for him to play basketball. Like, that's what you do before the game even starts, basically. And then there's other ones where it's just like you play as Lola Bunny and you're trying to hit targets with the basketballs. And there's another one where you're looking for water balls in lockers. And honestly, it just disrupts the flow of the actual basketball game itself. So I don't like them. And you can actually turn them off in the settings, which is good because I don't ever want to play with the mini games because they do really just disrupt the flow of the actual basketball, which is what I'm here for. I was hoping for more basketball style stuff. And the only way you really get that is if you turn off the mini games, because the mini games are just not great. They're just disruptive, in my opinion. So there's not really a whole lot to talk about in this game. It looks good. I like the way it looks. I like the way it plays. I think it plays pretty well. It's simplistic. It's just unbalanced, very, very, very heavily unbalanced. So overall, do I think that this game is worth picking up? Honestly, no. There's better basketball games out there. In fact, I would actually say some of the NBA Live games are actually better than this if you're just wanting a basketball game. If you're wanting a Looney Tunes game, honestly, there's better Looney Tunes games than this as well. But if you just are a big Space Jam fan and you want to pick it up just because it is a Space Jam title, then there's that. In terms of the way it looks, at least you are getting a really good-looking game. And you're getting a game that has a lot of character, at least with it, because, you have all the different characters, you have all the different Space Jam characters, you have all the different monsters, have tons of different Looney Tunes to choose from. I mean, you get to choose your own, team, basically, because you choose Looney Tunes, then you pick 3 of the Looney Tunes to represent your team. So, you can pick Bugs, Lola, Taz, Michael Jordan, Daffy, You can pick Yosemite Sam. You can pick a bunch of different characters for the Looney Tunes, and then with the monsters, you can also pick 3 monsters to represent that team also. However, I don't remember any of their names because who remembers the names of the monsters, if I'm being honest. but overall, yeah, it's not a great game. It's not the best. It's not the worst, but it's not something I think I can recommend. So only pick it up if you're interested in it because it's Space Jam. That'd be my recommendation. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe button down below. Don't overpay for this game. Only pick it up if you can find it for I'd say 10 or under. Don't go over $10 on this. I spent I think 15 on this, and I regret doing that. I'd say 10 or under. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you next time. You have a wonderful day. Bye bye.